I saved these 3 men's marriages in less than 8 weeks.
I mean, she's like telling me like, when are we gonna start having kids? When are we gonna start having kids? I want to do it now.
Wait, how long ago was that when you joined the program? I don't recall how long you've been in.
March 16th.
Okay, so a little bit less than 2 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, so about 6 weeks actually. I didn't even ask you, how long ago did you even come into the program? How long has it been?
This month, it's the 16th.
So you joined like
16th or 11th.
3 weeks ago.
Yeah, about 3 weeks ago.
And you already made this much progress, man. You only have more to go. More to go.
Now, there are multiple things that these men did to save their marriage in that time span, but I'm going to give you the 3 most potent actions they did to move the needle forward towards getting their wife back after she wanted the divorce. If you don't immediately stop the same mistakes that these men have made and instead replace them with positive habits that they implemented to get their wife back, what will happen is that resentment between you and your wife will continue to grow. You guys will become enemies and villains toward each other. Your kids are the ones that will suffer long term. And the worst part about all this is that when you get with the next woman in your life, if you do choose to move forward and find love again, the same pattern is going to repeat. And then you only have one person to blame. You look in the mirror. That's it. However, look, with a new perspective and new information comes new results. You act differently, you feel different, you create a new reality. And this is what this video is designed to do, is just give you a couple of powerful, potent shifts in the way you see things with some powerful actions you can take with your wife to save your marriage when she wants the separation. Now, for most men like yourself, the whole story starts off like this.
February 1st was her birthday, and she hit me with, I think I want a divorce. And then 2 weeks later, said the same thing again. She's like, I want a divorce. So she had already been talking to another guy for 3 or 4 months. I found out later. And
now for these 3 men that I saved their marriages, and for pretty much 99% of the men in my program, it's always the same pattern. The first habit you must implement with your wife is understanding the female mind. Now, today's day and age will present some story that, men and women, we are the same. And you have a lot of commonalities with your wife, but men and women have differences. And if you ignore these differences, like most of the mainstream media, and I'm not going to go into politics right now, but you get the point. I think you know that narrative. You are different from your wife. You guys have different ways of communicating, different ways of expressing your emotions, and a load of other differences that affect the way you interact with her in the relationship. Here's a perfect example of it with female communication.
Why haven't you taken the trash out in a really angry tone? She'll be like, oh, somebody needs to take the trash out. So I've been joking with her. I'm like,
somebody here needs to take the trash out.
Yeah. So I've been joking with her that her cutesy nickname for me is somebody.
That's a good one. That's a good one, Jack.
So he jokes about it, saying like somebody should take out the trash. But this is actually a really good point when it comes to female psychology. Most often, women speak in indirect terms. They're not as direct because being direct is conflictual, and they like to avoid conflict in general. This is where the whole adage of woman wants you to read her mind, which, by the way, if you want to decode the wife's mind, I have a whole video right here discussing her hidden messages and how to decode them. However, essentially, once you can understand her indirect form of communication, you know how to respond to her in a more effective way to overcome those communication problems you have and create a stronger emotional connection if that has been your issue in the relationship. One of the other core differences that women often express in their personal psychology is how they request having space.
I'm going to be out there watching TV. So when you feel like coming to talk to me, come and talk to me. Right. And so, but I didn't do that. I hovered over her. I kept asking her what was wrong. I didn't let her feel those feelings and calm down. I did not.
See, a lot of women, they need time to process their emotions. And if you are that anxious type that just wants to solve problems with her, you will end up suffocating her and push her further away. And this is something that Herb recognized, that he could understand how his wife operated with her emotions, and so he gave her the space she needed. Now, all of these men were able to address their personal wife psychology because they first understood the core issue versus the symptom level causes. The second habit is identifying the core issue and then fix
Actions straight away. You took full responsibility in the beginning, thanking her for showing you that you are being assertive, leading in the relationship, and you're actively fighting against this complacency by setting up like, hey, let's set up these, these once a night talks. Let's do this like let's take action to create this passion. So like, that's what you're doing brilliantly, is like, here's the problems, here's the actions to overcome them, and you're doing it consistently. And that's what I find is why you're getting such good results.
When your wife started pulling away, you were searching for answers and reasons to solve that problem. However, oftentimes when you ask a woman why she's leaving a man, When she's forced to answer, she'll say this: I don't know, it's just kind of in my heart. I just don't feel like we connect anymore. I love you, but I'm not in love with you. What does she actually mean? So we'll force her to give us logical solutions and answers. And so she ends up saying stuff like this: well, you never did dishes over the years. Or you were always late home from work. This makes men think, wait, you're leaving me because of those reasons? Really? I can fix those. When in reality, that's not the real core reason. You must address the real core reason, which one of the main reasons that all three men actually fixed was this masculine mindset. The third habit is what I call the masculine mindset. Now, Herb talks about one of the most important immediate actions you can take with your wife to completely flip this around to make her open up.
I think that my calm demeanor, non-judgmental, in a neutral state, how my interactions with her.
One of your wife's most important emotional needs is a sense of safety with you. However, every time you've gotten reactive, or you shut inward, you stonewalled, you left the room, or you become super needy, that shows her that you are not in your masculine, grounded presence. She will either see you as emotionally unavailable, essentially just with a rock, or if you're reactionary and you get anxious and you beg, she sees you as being another woman, which creates this disconnect of this polarity concept that I talk about a lot. You see, the more you're in your masculine, the more you show these masculine traits, the more she goes into her feminine, being happy, open, aroused with you. And by far, the best masculine mindset you must have with your wife is this.
Or it's going to be like shifting that mindset from, I can't live without her to, feeling like you could and you're going to be just fine. And in fact, you're going to a superstar on your own without her. Then you'll be able to start to behave like the man that she's going to want, You
see, women are only attracted to a man that they respect, and they only respect a man that want them but don't need them. When you put her on this pedestal, when you subconsciously, emotionally become a wreck, and you beg and you need and you try to convince her to stay, when she pulls away, she sees you as below her, as beneath her. You're being needy, and she will not be with a guy she looks down upon. Now, it took me about 10 years, thousands and thousands of dollars in grad school, and a lot of introspective work to understand where my source of my neediness came from. Man, I remember it was so bad when there was a time when I was dating a girl early on and she wouldn't call me back or she wouldn't text me back. After a couple of hours, I would sit there on my phone, I would reanalyze the text and say like, oh, did I say the wrong thing? And I would try to interpret how I said it wrong to make her perceive it in a negative light. And I would draw these long scenarios about how I've effed up and this is gonna suck. And when I'm with her and I felt okay again, she made me feel like I was good enough. I was basing my own internal worth on external validation because I didn't feel good enough on the inside. Now, you can go through graduate school and you could read tons and tons of books to learn that source of that neediness yourself, or what you could do is get on a call with me and my team and we can find the source of that neediness to help you reorient your masculine nature that you had with your wife when you first met her. You see, every guy with their wife, they were in this masculine, grounded presence with their wife, whether they knew it or not, and that's why she initially was attracted to you. But over the years, you become complacent. And if you want to refine that masculinity, to eradicate that neediness, to cultivate this strong desire in her that she cannot control, set up a call down.
Okay. What's one thing yourself now would have to, what's one thing your past self would need to hear that you can give him now as a piece of advice?
Probably, I think probably the biggest thing that would have made the most impact would give her space.
Give her space.
Not just physical space, not just but emotional, spiritual, every kind of space.
Your personality comes out as we talk, and this really solidifies that I made the best choice in my life. So I appreciate you being the same as you are in person, as you are in your videos. So I do appreciate it, and thank you.
I give you a hug if I could touch you, man.
The thing I would tell him the most is like, do the program exactly the way it is. Make sure you cover everything, do it twice if you have to, and don't skip ahead, and it will work.
Look, if you've seen my videos before and you're questioning whether you could save your marriage or not, I mean, these men and loads of other guys that I've saving marriages every single day are proof of it. And I'm just telling you, if this marriage is worth it and you just want to get on a free call with my team just to see if we can help you out, set up the call down below, click on the link, make sure you are committed to saving your marriage. We only take serious applications. Otherwise, thanks for watching the video. Check out the other video right here on decoding your wife, and I will see you in the next one. Cheers.